First of all, we questioned the audience to find out what sort of music video they wanted to fit in with the song, and general feedback was that they wanted sort of brighter colours, quite an interesting performance, then that combined with a sort of narrative on the side. So we decided to sort of mainly focus ourselves around the performance, but with a narrative to go with it.
We also interviewed quite a few people, and we came across one of our friends that actually skateboarded, and we showed him the song, and he told us that it'll be like pretty good to skateboard to, as it's quite fast paced yet quite kind of mellow at the same time. So he gave us the idea of having like the narrative part of our music video as skateboarding, which we thought was quite a good idea, so we just went along with that.
We learned that the audience also wanted the emphasis to be around the actual performance of the song, then with the narrative to be on the side, so we decided to have the narrative have a little bit of like a gripping storyline, like a bit progressive, so we could come back to it and reference it whilst the performance was continuous throughout the music video.
Yeah, like with the narrative, you got the idea that he was going somewhere instead of just on just a random trip. He was like in a rush to get somewhere. Like as you kind of get with the song, like as it starts off slow and progressively kind of becomes much more whole.
This was because the audience wanted a sort of a stronger storyline to hold you, to like keep you enticed in the film rather than just something which is sort of repetitive and you're going back to. So we wanted to fit in with what the audience asked of us.
Yeah.
When we asked the audience about the final product of our music video, most of the feedback was generally quite positive and showing that we've done a good job. But one of the few criticisms was to do with the lyrics and the lip syncing. They found that towards the start of the video it was in cases sort of out of time and didn't fit in very well.
Yeah, we feel this though was because the singer, well, he's got a really kind of quiet voice, quite a soft tone to his voice, so it's kind of quite hard to match. Although when we actually initially filmed the actual piece, we didn't intend on using much narrative, just like a few snippets, but after we showed the audience the shots that we'd filmed, a lot of feedback said that from people said that we'd filmed the narrative parts, or certain parts, much better than the performance. So using their feedback, we decided to use more narrative parts in our video, which in the end turned out well, because an interview of someone told us that the narrative was probably the best part of the actual piece, along with some of the drumming shots.
For the digipack and poster side of things, the feedback was also quite positive, saying that they thought the poster and digipack were quite classy and sort of had a cinematic feel, which sort of fitted well with the song. They also gave strong feedback about the sharp bold text that contrasted with like the black background. One criticism of it was that it was a little bit plain and simple, needed perhaps more content, so we decided to include slightly more text and variety of fonts in the poster to make it feel a bit more sort of more full of content rather than empty, which it initially was.
People also said that they were too similar, but we didn't really kind of pay much attention to that, because that was the idea behind it. Because
we wanted continuity.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, if it's their first release, you want them to be kind of joined.